hey, if I'm trying to scale my business, I need to become a generalist in my business and stop being a specialist in everything.
Online lead conversion for real estate agents and SEO for realtors. These are the two biggest struggles that most agents have. Generating leads is very easy. I've got endless tutorials on my YouTube channel showing you how to generate a ton of leads within the next 24 hours. We also understand that the average agent struggles to be found, and we're now in an era where it's not just who you know, it's who knows you. And the number one way to scale your real estate business is to get more people to know you. So today I've brought on marketing expert Jacob Sherrard, who has over 15 years experience when it comes to marketing, SEO, and lead conversion. And he breaks down the ninja strategies that most agents genuinely have never heard of in order to start converting your online leads at a higher rate, an exponentially higher rate, as well as how to, for free, start to leverage the power of SEO to start attracting clients at scale. Now, two quick things before we get started. Number one, I'm going to link all of Jacob's incredible content below. He has an amazing YouTube channel where he breaks down in even greater detail all of the strategies we're going to dive into today. And also, I will link his calendar below in case you would like to chat with him so that you can start to be recognized as a top agent in your market and convert leads at scale. So without further ado, let's dive into all things lead conversion and also how to make sure that you get found whenever people are searching for the top agent in your market. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another exciting conversation where today we're going to be diving into all things lead conversion. The number one problem that we see so many agents have: generating leads is incredibly easy, but converting them is a completely different ball game. So there's nobody better to talk about that than my brother here, Jacob Sherrard, one of my partners that has excelled at this and has helped so many agents be able to take leads and actually turn them into conversations, booked appointments, and close deals. So Jacob, super excited to have you here, man. What's going on?
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me to your channel. I really appreciate this opportunity. It's kind of crazy. 2.5 years ago, I was actually watching you before I joined EXP, and now to be on your channel, it's awesome. It's an honor. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Well, you earned this opportunity because of what you've been able to do. You've changed so many people's lives, including your own. And I'm really excited to see what you have done and unpack that a little bit for other people. So, you've got a pretty incredible story. Why don't we start there about, who you are, where you're from, and what kind of got you into this position based on your past experience?
Yeah, so I'm a realtor here in Houston, Texas, but I wasn't always a realtor. I've been in the business a little over 2.5 years. I started in 2021, January of 2021. And actually, before that, I've been in marketing for over 16 years is what I went to school for. It's what I've done, what companies I worked for. I went straight out of college working for the Air Force Base as a contractor, doing all kinds of websites and portal management there, and worked for big companies. And then how I got into real estate was during the pandemic. My business had kind of shifted. I was in marketing, mainly doing kind of event rentals like DJs, photo booths, doing all their website, their SEO, all of their marketing. And in one day, I lost $50,000 because everything shut down, February 23rd. I'll never forget that day in 2020. And I was like, crap. So I repivoted my marketing company like I always do, using that experience. And then my husband, when we started to travel a little more after those 6 months, he would always get a little pissy and say like, man, it sucks. Like I have to ask for time off. You just take your laptop and go wherever you want, right? And I said, well, do something about it. You work in property management, you love real estate, go get your license. And so I said, I'll make it easier. I'll get it with you. So I found a 2-for-1 on Groupon for a great school here in Austin. And I got my license first and just decided to get in real estate, found DXP and realized that was the brokerage for us. And now I'm in real estate helping agents with that 16 years of marketing experience in web design and SEO, and really showing them not only how to generate leads, but how to capture leads properly, which is like what I think most agents struggle with. And so now I get to take that experience and just really actually give back and help agents grow, which is what I love to do because I geek out about this stuff all day long. So
Yeah, man, I love it. And the passion shines through, when you see all of your incredible content that you're putting out and in partnership with Armilla and things like that, it's incredible, the wealth of knowledge that you're sharing. And of course, all of your information is going to be linked below. So you guys want to make sure to check out Jacob's, unbelievable content. But that's a perfect segue into kind of that first talking point. I know that you and I have talked, and you mentioned that, agents don't have a lead generation problem, they've got a lead capture problem. So do you want to kind of unpack what that means and what you're seeing in the industry based on people that are always looking for that overnight lead flow, secret
Right.
nugget, but then they get hundreds of leads and nothing comes of it. So let's kind of dive into that for a little bit.
Yeah, there's a few parts. I mean, this comes again from examining websites and marketing plans for 16 years. And honestly, it's the same thing in every industry. Is a lot of people, like you said, they don't have a lead generation. People kind of complain. I have agents, especially newer agents, come to me and I'm not getting leads. I'm not getting leads. And to me, I can do that in my sleep. I think it's one of the easiest things because there's social media, there's your Google business profile, there's SEO, there's paid. If you can't get leads from paid advertising, I mean, it's simple as click and go. And there's so many services, especially here at EXP, you can go use Make It Rain. You can generate leads. And a lot of times I'll open up their CRM and say, hey, there's 200 leads here. Why is there no deal? Statistically, you should have one client at least from this. Why isn't that there? And then one, it's a lead nurturing problem. We know most people, they hear this doing business the modern way, and they think it means absolutely no contacting the client and phone call, that they're magically going to text them and say, hey, sell my house. That doesn't happen. It happens to the unicorns out there, but in general business, that doesn't happen. You have to be the first one to pick up that phone and call them. And the people that are struggling to get leads into their database or have very few, it's because their websites, their social media, even Google business profile, nothing is actually optimized to capture that lead. And the way, obviously, that you optimize all of this is by sending them to something that's going to have some type of way to capture the lead, like an online form. And online forms are probably one of the strongest way and best ways to capture a lead, because one, you have to get their name and email address somehow if you're not going to manually enter it. And I looked up a couple of statistics on online forms that I love, is that 74% of companies use web forms as their main form of lead generation. And out of those 74%, 49 state that their online forms are their highest converting lead generation tool. And so those other tools out there are picking up the phone, texting, DM, commenting on social media, but people are so used to filling out a form. When we go to check out of Amazon or any other type of online commerce, we have to put our shipping address and all of those things. And people just aren't utilizing those enough. They have a simple contact form, and then half the people are not even sending those people to that as well. And a couple other things I noticed too, we get KV Core with our brokerage for free, right? Part of our brokerage fee. And it's crazy to see, even in our kind of workplace, to see agents that literally have KV Core where it captures the lead for them on their IDX website, but they have that lead capture turned off because they don't want to bug the traffic. It's like, how stupid is that? You don't give away free stuff. We all know it's quid pro quo in this world, right? You give me something of value, or I give you something of value, you have to give me something of value. And if you want to go surf houses and use other people's websites, go use theirs without giving your information. But you guys pay for your IDX website, right? You pay to maintain that, you put the energy in that. The least they can do is give up a first name and email address. And, it drives me crazy. And those are the same people complaining that they don't have leads. And again, it's really, really not that hard. And then the last thing that really keeps people from generating leads is they have no call to action, or a very weak one at that. You've talked about that before. You can't just put download. You got to say get access now, or get access to this free guide. That you got to give them something, nothing generic, or they just don't have a call to action. And this is so popular in social media, is that everybody posts, but there's no direct call to action. They might have DM me, but nobody's doing that. But there's no linking them to a form or a landing page or to your website or to your funnel. And so you have to have that purpose and that content there, and tell people, because I tell everybody, when you make your website, when you make your call to actions, treat people as if you're telling a child what they need to do next, because there's so much things to be distracted for, especially on a website and social media, that if you don't tell them where to go, they're not clicking. So that's where it comes back to, I think people have more of a lead capture than a lead generation, because lead gen is super easy.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think, I love that you touched on the fact that like some people turn that lead capture off on their websites because they don't want to, you know, offend people or overwhelm people. And
Right.
those are usually the same agents that are struggling to get deals and struggling to get business. So, you know, I would rather be offensive to the wrong people because the right
Exactly.
people are going to see the opportunity and the value there that you're providing them. So, you know, when it comes to tools, what are some of the tools that you enjoy using related to lead capture, related to, you know, any platform that you find is helping agents capture leads and go on to actually convert them into conversations?
Yeah, so the number one thing is you're going to have some type of place that you can send leads to, especially if you're doing social media. So you have to have some type of online form. So a lot of your IDX websites, they'll have your form builders. If you're using WordPress, things like that, there's all kinds of plugins like Ninja Forms and things like that. I've done videos where you can go use like Jot form is probably the most popular form out there. And you can go set up an online form, you can embed it into things. But when you're using those tools, you got to have an online form. And then, you know, you'll automate that online form with something like Zapier, where if it's, you know, you're sending them just to the form website or a landing page, no matter what CRM or form you're doing, you can use something like Zapier to automate that workflow. So it's automatically importing, especially if you're doing paid ads. The biggest pet peeve I have is people that manually download that stupid spreadsheet and then go upload it. And then it's 24, they do it once a day. Well, great. 24 hours has passed. Another realtor has already gotten to them. That lead is now out the window, that cold lead. So you need some type of online form, but there's some tips that you can do when you're going through each thing. So if you're going to use social media, that's your main form of lead gen. One, every post that has to have a real call to action, right? So no, just DM me or, hey, if you're looking to buy a house, everybody puts that. So stop putting that stuff. You can every now and then, but if you're doing a post on check out these homes in Houston under 300,000, because that's a steal, right? Well, I'm going to send them to a landing page and to show them all those list of homes under 300,000. You do a save search result, so it's always up to date. But before I send them to that link, I'm going to send them to a landing page or some type of page that's going to capture the information and then email them over to the link, or you can choose to redirect if you want to, but send them somewhere. Send it to your buyer's funnel, your seller's funnel, your renter's funnel. Based on whatever that content is, make sure you're sending them somewhere with a link in the bio or a small bit.ly link in your call to action that you're capturing them. Second way is if you're using your website, funnels, landing pages, you know, there's several ways to do that. So your website, you're going to drive traffic to your website with SEO, blog, and those things. So that's what a website does, is that it'll generate traffic for you. And you want to focus on those things. So a lot of people say websites dead, IDX websites are dead. That's farthest from the truth. Is because websites, what they do is they drive organic traffic, right? And so SEO is one of the best things that you can do out there to help capture leads in a blog. The first thing that we all do is 68% of online experiences start with a search. So when we want something, we take to Google and YouTube, and because they're the two largest search engines in the world. And then now coming up, number 3 is going to be TikTok, because I don't know if you've seen the latest updates. Now, when you write your content, it tells you to write more, because now they're going to become the search engine for short-term content, and they want you to write more keywords and stuff. So now TikTok is becoming SEO, and SEO drives 1,000% more traffic than organic SEO, because people take to that to search, and not all of your social media is searchable. So you can use your website or blog, put an online form in there. If you're doing funnels, there's so many ways to capture leads on your funnels. Your funnels are popular to contrary belief, are websites. People say, oh, you need funnels, get rid of websites and IDX. They're selling you another website. Okay. So websites, funnels, and landing pages should all be in one. They just have different purposes. But if you are sending, you're using a funnel, you have to send traffic to it. It won't generate traffic. It's just meant to process traffic that you send it. So you send it from your social media, your paid ad, you can send them to your buyer's guide, your seller's guide, but have multiple ways to capture their leads, whether it's to use Calendly to schedule an appointment with you, or fill out an intake form, or fill out a pre-approval form, or download your buyer's guide. You can have ways to capture those leads with the online form. Same thing with landing page. Landing page is a single purpose, right? So download my buyer's guide, get access to this list of homes. There's only one thing you want them to do. And that is to provide their name and email address to download that one thing or get access to that one thing. Again, it only does traffic or processes traffic. It won't generate traffic. And what's great about funnels and landing pages is that it alleviates distractions that your website will cause, because your website has so many clickable things, menus, blogs, contact me, watch this video, just like social media. It's very distracting, but it isolates them to either follow a series of steps like a funnel, or you're on a landing page where your main intent is to give that value and them to give you value, and then they capture the lead. Again, same thing with an online form, and then you automate it with Zapier. So you can use any of those tools to capture leads, and honestly, you should be using all of them. And I'll talk about that later, about diversifying your lead capture. But the best thing is find a tool that works, a landing page. KV Core has landing pages built in. You have a free site with that. Use that, and it automatically imports the leads for you if you use that. So it'll save you a step with Zapier, but find a way to capture your leads with one of those, but make sure you have a way for them to give your information, and you have a way to immediately know that that lead is in your database. So it starts nurturing them, and you can pick up the phone and call them, because the first person that calls them wins that client. So those are some things that I use.
I love it, man. I think that's super powerful and really great advice on helping people better understand the difference of landing pages and websites, because I think a lot of people are hearing funnels and it's like this buzzword. Right. But again, it's usually just a way for, unethical people to upsell you on a bunch of stuff.
Right.
That doesn't really need to be that expensive. So, before continuing the conversation related to lead capture, one of the things that I would like to maybe just ask you, based on your incredible wealth of experience, is actual lead generation in terms of what you're seeing is working well blended with lead capture, in terms of, you're very heavy on SEO. I know that you've got experience with Facebook ads and things like that. Right now, based on where the market is and based on your experience, what are you seeing is working well, kind of paired with these lead capture forms in order to generate at least, quality leads?
So on quality leads, I mean, we're getting leads from everything. So we're doing a mixture of both, because I believe in diversifying your kind of lead gen, so you're prepared for any market that comes. So right now, the two main things we're doing for real estate business, and that I'm seeing work with even our agents who are doing a lot, is one, we're doing everything organic that we can, because if you're not doing that, that literally just takes a little bit of time, and it's free. Like most people, complain they have no money, because being a real estate agent, they don't tell you really need a year's worth of income. They say 6 months, but you need a freaking year just to be able to survive and start getting leads if you're going to start paying all these fees and paid ads. So, but if you want to do everything free, you can, then, have your website, do your blogs. I mean, writing a blog article, especially if you're recording YouTube videos, and I know you just did a video on this with AI tools, you can literally, like, even simpler, just go to your YouTube video. It can't be a home tour. It has to be something you're talking. Go grab your freaking transcript. You can copy it, paste it into ChatGPT and say, make it a blog, and literally upload that to your channel. And what I do on our blogs, and I teach our agents to do, is you want to cross SEO those. And so what we do is we write the blog article, and right after the intro, I say, basically, if you don't want to read this, go to my YouTube channel and click, they can watch the video. I just embed it. And that way you're getting Google sees that people are coming to your website, but you're also getting that view in your subscriber there. So we do everything organic, social media. All of our team is using our Groovy social platform, because we saw so many agents that, you have an amazing social agent academy. So they're not only getting all the tech things and all the strategy, but sometimes they just kind of run out of strategy. So we wanted agents not to focus on non-income producing activities. They waste so much time on admin and stalking other realtors. So we're like, look, if that's your problem, is you don't have enough time, we'll tell you exactly what to post, and you can customize it to your market. So we give them everything social media strategy to do. So that's kind of the free side. And then the pay side, what we did, and I took my ego out of this, and we have a marketing company. I've been doing this for 16 years. I literally get paid to run paid ads for other companies. And what I did was like, hey, if I'm trying to scale my business, I need to become a generalist in my business and stop being a specialist in everything. I tend to take on too much, and I try to, because I always feel like I can do it better, or, it's quicker. And at the end of the day, I want to scale, right? I want to have a great organization here at EXP. I want to have a great marketing company. I want to have all these passive streams of income. In order for me to do that, I have to back out and oversee everything and stop being a specialist. So what I did is we get it basically for free as far as the platform. We can use Make It Rain, which is literally just a platform. You go in, tell it how much you want to spend a month. You select your 4 cities and they create and manage the ads with AI, and you just step back. And then we even hired an ISA company to make sure that we call those leads in 10 minutes. And in that first month, we had 5 bookings, like 5 client appointments, which we were struggling to get 1 or 2 because we didn't have time to call the leads ourselves. So we were always missing it by an hour or 2. So we used paid ads with that. We kind of backed off Facebook a little bit. I kind of saw that slowing down because let's be honest, they kind of screwed us with all this, like, because they're worried about us discriminating because we're like segmenting the audience. So I was like, screw that. I'm gonna stick with Google. I'm a Google person. I've always ran Google ads for everything. And it actually works. Facebook ads still work. YouTube ads work. LinkedIn, TikTok, they all work. But what we did is we wanted to create a simple plan with organic and paid leads, because organic, I'll tell you, it takes forever. It takes 6 months to a year. But because there's so many agents in our industry here in Houston, I think we have like, was it 30 freaking thousand agents, and you got to compete with all these people, right? But I know I'll beat their butts because I know what I'm doing, and half of them don't do anything. But we kind of mix that plan. So I feel like your SEO gives you a better quality of leads because it's that pull marketing. You're not forcing them to click on something. They're coming back to your website. Because I love watching my analytics where it says you got 200 new visitors, but you had 190 come back. That means they're watching my blog, they're watching my videos, they're watching our home tours, all of those things that we're doing. And that's kind of the mix. I know that's a long answer, but that's kind of the mix what we're doing. But paid works, SEO works. I just find that SEO gets a better quality of ads. But if you need something now, man, there's no shame in paid ads.
100%. Yeah, dude, I completely agree. And there's, one question that I'm going to have is, just wrapping up the context and closing the loop on kind of SEO is your advice on keywords, because, I recently got an email from an agent, not even in our group at EXP, and he's like, Mike, you've made it to ChatGPT, and I'll read it verbatim, but he essentially went on ChatGPT and searched, what types of videos should I be creating as a real estate agent? And it gave a list of 15 different types of videos. And then I've got the screenshot he sent me in front of me, and it said, additionally, study Mike Sherrard's content for inspiration and consider adopting some of his successful strategies to your own style and niche. And the fact that when people are now searching for what type of what realtor should I use in Houston, who should I study for content, and your name is now so synonymous with that niche that you're getting recommended for free by artificial intelligence. A lot of that is predicated on keywords, because I put out so much content related to video for realtors that now when you search for that, I show up. And I think it's important to help people understand that might not be you today, but it can be you in 2 years from now if you get started today and are consistent and have a volume of good quality content related to your niche. But a lot of that is predicated on keywords. So do you want to talk about, maybe your approach to keywords when it comes to SEO?
Yeah, so keywords are hard. Real estate keywords, not to like discourage anybody, it is probably one of the harder industries to do SEO for. Like, honestly, I don't get excited about SEO when I have realtors hire me, because one, I know, let's be honest, realtors are like ADD, like they're always looking for that shiny object or that secret sauce, and they won't wait 6 months for it to pay off. And, just like paid ads, you see them come in 2 weeks, I didn't get any leads, I didn't get any deals, and they quit. So the same thing with SEO. SEO is extremely hard, but you have to get creative. And it's the same thing even with your social media strategy. Nobody cares about real estate. They don't want to see pictures of houses. Yeah, people love the home tours, but the problem with those, even though they work great, you get a lot of looky-loos, right? You don't have, it's harder to get that more segmented quality lead. But when you're doing a keyword plan, get it out of your head that you're going to rank for Houston Realtor, Houston real estate agent. You know who's ranking for those? Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. And the reason why is a thing called domain authority. the longer you've had a website, the more that you've constantly putting out leads, the bigger your website is, you increase the domain authority. So for you to rank for those keywords is going to be extremely difficult. It's not saying you can't. You might be in a small town, right? And there might not 100 agents. You can rank for that. When you're in an area like Houston, you can't rank for that generic term. Now, if I want to start ranking for Sugarland Realtor or Richmond or the Woodlands, the other suburbs, I can do that. So when you're creating your keyword plan, you need to know, when you're looking at your website, what keywords do I want to rank for? And there's 3 types of keywords. There's high competition, medium competition, and low competition, okay? And so low competition would give you, if you use any of the keyword tools, and I'll tell you the best tool to use, it's super cheap, and I think it's better than all the expensive ones. It's called Uber Suggest, and it's by Neil Patel, and he's probably the SEO king. Like, I stalk this dude's stuff like crazy. I even had somebody tell me, hey, that one little thing on your website looks like his. And I'm like, it probably is, because I watch his stuff so much. Yeah. But when you're creating those, start out with those low competition keywords. The same thing with your YouTube videos. When you're using vidIQ, go after those competitions. They might only have 1,000 searches, but guess what? You're going to dominate those 1,000 searches. And when you master low competition keywords, then you can move up to medium and start competing for those high competitions. So good idea to think about is like, yeah, Houston real estate market. Those are great, sexy keywords. But the ones you want to go out for is homes in Houston under $399,000, something that somebody would be searching for. Go after those longer keywords. Those are so easy to rank for versus one that's 2 to 3. Go after questions. Look at questions people are asking. There's a lot of public forums where you can put something like, I want to see all the real estate questions. Go look through Facebook groups, see what people are actually typing in their question. And that's a great example of what a keyword is. And then once you find what your keywords are, you can make variations. And that's where, when you write a blog, you might say, I want to use these 5 to 7 keywords in my blog. So yeah, we're talking about Houston real estate, but maybe I talk about moving to Houston, Texas, living in Houston, Texas. Start doing variations of keywords. You have your main keyword that blog article will rank for, and then you have variations of keywords. So it's not all just sometimes click and write, and you can get lucky like that. You can have ChatGPT, tell you, but then once you have those keywords and you've made those variations, then you can go into something like ChatGPT and tell it, I want to use in this document, I want to be SEO heavy for these keywords, and it will write them out for you. And then you've done that. And then you go in and obviously optimize your title, your subtitles, and all of those things. But you have to have a clear plan. I think that's where everybody can start off. Having a spreadsheet, using those keyword search tools like Uber Suggest. There's some free ones out there, but they'll give you a keyword strategy. And if you use a tool like Uber Suggest, and I don't get paid to say that, is that it'll tell you like, here's some keyword potential. Like if you write another blog article on this keyword, you can rank, and then it'll help you write it, because they even have AI tools built into that now. But that's how you do it. You got to have a plan and know the direction you want to go and rank for. And the other cool thing you can do that nobody's doing is create city pages. If you create city pages, and we're talking about, you can go once a month and update the stats, median home price, all of that stuff, but put like top 5 things to do in Houston, top 5 dog parks in Houston. That's what people are searching for. If you focus more on your community and local businesses and those keywords, and people that are maybe visiting there or that are thinking about relocating, they're going to find your content. They're going to know you're a realtor. You don't have to flood them with that. Okay. Just give them value. And it's like the same thing with social media. We have one agent I saw here in Houston that was on, a friend of mine here at EXP on his downline. This guy was so smart in his strategy. He built a Facebook business page. That's all he did. He didn't do TikTok, Reels, anything. He posted videos of all the restaurants he ever go to. So he just eats twice a week, posts those videos. He had 40,000 followers on his channel, and then got his license and announced, I am now a realtor. Same freaking day, had calls, and he had 3 deals. He was out of the mentor program his first month. And I was like, what? And that's smart, but he had a clear plan. He literally just posted about restaurants. and people saw a value because he knows he's the go-to person now for the community because he knows every local business, he knows the schools. So it's about those strategies more than posting pictures of houses, market reports, market updates, because everybody else is doing that. So try to find a way to stand out and have a good keyword plan, and that'll dominate. One other thing about keywords that really kind of irked me is that I just did a train on this in EXP University is 64% of small local businesses have not claimed their Google business profile. That is one of the easiest ways to skyrocket your SEO because there's 3 ways to rank when you search on Google. There's the paid ads at the top, your organic search results in the middle, and off to the side is Google Maps or Google Business Profile now. And there's so many things you can do with your Google Business Profile to rank. Not only can you post to it regularly like social media, you just want a short paragraph with those keywords and use the call to action, call me. And then you can also create products. And if you do a product, your product category is homes for sale. And then your product is homes for sale in Houston, homes for sale in Katy, homes for sale in Galveston. Write a quick description of the area and about moving and relocating. ChatGPT will do it. I use it. Like it's literally like does everything you want it. You put that in there, and then your link is your link to your landing page or to your IDX website because it will capture the lead after 2 views. You can send them to that search result of homes in that area. And that will start ranking because you're constantly adding keywords. You can put frequently asked questions. You can put the questions and then immediately answer it. So there's so much you can do with that Google profile because those 64% of people that don't have it, the other percentage that has it, they're not doing anything with it. They set it up once and they forget it. So you can use all those things and focus on hammering keywords into websites like that and to your website and do a blog. Man, SEO, after 6 months, you'll have a steady pipeline of leads that you'll never really have to do much after that.
Yeah, it's so important that you unpack that. Looking at, it used to be called Google My Business, now Google Business Profile, is so many people are not even tapping into the free resources and assets that allow you to have organic traffic. And I think,
Right.
again, I like that you broke down high, medium, and low competition keywords, because that goes to Google ads as well. Like if you're going to run a Google ad for, homes for sale in Calgary, you're going up against every agent and usually ones with bigger budgets. Then you go to condos for sale in Calgary, that's medium. And then you go to, new condos for sale in Mahogany, a specific community. Now you've got niche, hyper local, and very specific. So, I love that you talked about that, because I think it's really important for agents to understand that having a niche carries a lot of weight, because when you become known as the person in a specific area or for a specific style of property, now when you become synonymous with that, it's going to increase your lead capture, it's going to decrease your ad spend, it's going to increase your searchability and your conversion rate. And it's really important for people to identify, as you said, you need a plan. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be recognized for? Who do you want to get in front of on a consistent basis? Usually based on your own experience. Were you just a first-time home buyer? Did you relocate here?
Right.
What are your passions? So there's a lot of important details that you mapped out there. So thank you for that. And, now going back to kind of lead capture, what are some of the best practices that you find? You touched on ISAs, and I think there's a lot of importance, because speed to lead is going to be one of those kind of key contributing factors to actually converting leads. But, what are your recommendations for people saying, okay, you know what, Jacob, I've been running these ads, I'm getting leads, none of them are converting. What should I start doing going forward in order to start to actually capture more leads that are high quality and then convert those leads into actual conversations?
Yeah, so I have a few things that we can show you that basically will help you to put this into action. Anything that I've ever done training, one thing that I hate when people do training is that there's no quick takeaway that you can implement today. So this is stuff that you can literally walk out of here today after watching this video and go start implementing this stuff, and you'll start seeing a better conversion of leads and taking that traffic and converting them into leads. So the first thing you need to understand when you're looking at all these tools, honestly, for realtors that don't have any marketing experience, and I know you came from the engineering space, and then you even quickly caught on to marketing and actually did an amazing job with it. it's a little overwhelming to start learning in the beginning because there's so many opinions for one. And then when you come into a realtor as in this space, you don't know which tool, which thing to focus on. Your brokerage gives you stuff, they don't give you stuff. Like, what do you do? And so the first thing to know is that there's not really one system that's better than another. So when you're talking about websites, funnels, landing pages, IDX websites, quiet out that noise. You need to be using all of them together in one system. For instance, if you have KV Core, okay, maybe you don't have the budget to go build your own personal branded website like those luxury agents out there. That's okay. You can take your KV Core website and, believe it or not, you can put your own funnel in that website. A funnel is a buyer's page. So you make it all the content about the buyer, add a seller's page, all the content about a seller's page, embed your Calendly, embed a form to download your buyer's guide, have several ways to capture that lead. But you can put that right into your IDX website. And then, you know, if KV Core, you have squeeze pages, landing pages. Those are all in one system. So you don't have to deviate from that. It's just about how are you using it. And if you are a person that's going to take those items right out of the box and never do a thing with it, man, you're never going to get the most out of it. It takes a plan. It takes action. It takes time. Like, those are things that every month you got to be putting a little effort into. You got to be refining. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but you can't just set it and forget it. Especially with websites and SEO, you cannot set it and forget it. It is an ongoing thing, just like YouTube, just like social media. You got to keep going. And so understand that all of those systems, not one are better than the other. This is why literally for our group, I got my agents, I got tired of them asking, what about this funnel? What about this client funnel? What about this landing page? Should I use KV Core? Should I not? So I literally created an entire website system that they can literally video by video go through and literally implement all this and know how to use it and use all the tools and resources that they're getting. So just know that. And the biggest takeaway from that is make sure that when you're doing your lead generation, you are diversifying your lead generation. Everything in life, we diversify. In investments, we diversify. And if you want to become wealthy, you're going to have multiple sources of passive income. And why is that? Is because when one fails, when the market shifts and paid ads no longer are working, but SEO or organic SEO is working, you have prepared yourself. But if you are the agent that is solo focused on one method, one system of generating leads, you are going to fail at some point, because eventually that is not going to derive as many quality leads like it always was. We always have a shift in market. But the key takeaway of that is to understand, if you're just starting out, do you have to go do SEO, paid ads, Google profile, YouTube videos, social media? No, pick one, master that for 6 months, and then move on to the other thing. Just like investing, we don't start investing in everything. We usually start with a mutual fund, right? Something that's diversified, but lower risk. You can put a few dollars in, but then we move on to investing in real estate and index funds and things like that. It's the same thing with your marketing plan. So just use those. Don't screw yourself over by just focusing on one thing, because that's when we're going to see that 87% of realtors failing. And my reason that they fail is, one, they have no marketing foundation and no solid plan to follow. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that nobody talks about, because they get confused with this one main conversion goal and when to use it, is you have to meet your audience or your prospect where they're at. This is a crazy thing that I see with all these systems out there. When I was building this for my agents, I can build websites with my eyes closed. But one thing I wanted to do is make sure it had every feature that they're ever going to need and when to use that feature, because there is a moment for all of that. And you have to meet them where they're at in the journey. Some of your buyers are not going to buy a house in 2 years, but it's crazy to see realtors that will not give them the time of day and build that relationship with them, because this is a relationship business, that they'll be like, okay, well, they're not going to give me money right now. They're not getting my attention. And we talk about this, the same thing with, you know, attracting agents or doing anything in business. It's all freaking relationships. Not everybody is going to buy today. I search Amazon and take 2 days to figure out if I want to buy that shirt or not. And it could be a $5 shirt. It's so crazy. And so meet them where they're at. And so what I mean by that is, for instance, you can go check out the demo on the buyer's funnel, even on my own personal website. There's 5 different ways to capture that lead. They might be gung-ho like, hey, Jacob, I need to buy a house today. I got to move in 45 days. I need to get the process started. Great, book an appointment, right? But some of those people, they might have to think it. They might have to, they want to research everything. Great, here is my buyer's guide. Here's a video on, here's a webinar on buying a home with a VA loan, right? Go watch that. Go watch these videos. You can send them to those. Great. That's going to capture their lead when they register to watch that video, or when they download that buyer's guide. Or maybe they just want to see if they can get pre-approved first. So I have a pre-approval form that asks them really basic questions, right? And then on top of that, it will automatically forward to my preferred agent, and it sends them an email saying, hey, this is my lead. Don't farm them out to another realtor, but they want to get pre-approved. Here's their information. And I CC the prospect or the lead on it, and they can get pre-approved. But guess what? I got their lead, and now I can follow up with them, and I'm going to let them know day one whether they can get pre-approved and get in that process. So find different ways to capture where they're at. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're 2 years out. Maybe they're right on the cusp. They don't know. They want to learn more about what you're doing. Give them that option. Don't push them into one thing, because more than likely they're going to bounce and go, I'll deal with this later. So make sure you meet them where they're at. Next thing is, make sure you're providing value-driven content. I see people go to landing pages, funnels, there's no content. And just putting a booking form and some social, social proof, reviews. Sorry, I can put a picture of anybody there. I can have ChatGPT write a testimonial. You got to provide more content, because remember, while they're surfing your stuff, you're building a rapport with them. That's why YouTube works so well in video, is because they know how you sound, they know how you respond, they know everything about you. And then that cold lead that's coming in is actually warm, because now they've built a rapport. They already feel like they know you. It's not that awkward conversation like, hey, is this Mr. Smith? So make sure that you're providing value, that you're in the content. You're back to that focusing on pulled marketing, because remember, engaged audience converts. They're engaged in everything you do, that they can't imagine buying a house with another realtor. You've got that lead, and you didn't have to do the work and the appointment to do it. So that means less appointment times, less phone calls, all that to convert them. So they're right in there. And the last thing that is super important probably to all of this is that your online forms matter. So I looked up another statistic, Unbounce, which is like a huge landing page company. They took an 11 field contact form, okay, and they reduced it to 4 fields, and they saw 160% conversion, okay, on their leads. And what that means is, if you make a form difficult and time consuming to fill out, they won't fill it out. If you're going beyond first name, last name, email, phone number, you're going to lose them. Your chance of converting that lead has gone down, especially if all those fields are required. So like on my forms, depending on the lead source, KV Core has to have a first name and email address. So those are always required. But if it's something like, I want to learn more about this loan program or about this house, I get their phone number. But if they're downloading my buyer's guide, I just want their email address. If they want to put their phone number in, great. But make sure that you make this way that they can get with you and capture the lead the easiest thing that they can do. And then that you have strong call to actions there. And the last cool tip that I'll give you with forms that nobody's doing, and we're all used to it, but realtors haven't really caught on, is when, let's say they're going to download your buyer's guide. Okay, the typical way people do this is they go to a landing page, they put in their email address, their phone number, whatever you're capturing, and then you redirect them to that buyer's guide. That is the biggest mistake you have ever made. And the reason why is they're going to put John Doe 5555222, and they're going to give you wrong lead information. Verify your lead. When you sign up for an account, what do? They send you an email with a link to click to verify that that is your email address, that you can receive that email, and that you can get access to that. So you have to click that link. The way you should do this, and even if you're using something like KV Core, that redirect URL should be a generic thank you page. Thank you for requesting to download this guide. Please check your email for a link to download it. Because guess what? If they put in john@johndoe.com, they got to go redo it now and put in an email address they can actually check, because if you don't get valid lead information, that was just another traffic. It wasn't a real lead. So make sure you have a way to validate your leads before you give them that thing of value, because if not, you're just wasting your time, and none of us have time to waste.
Yeah, that's amazing. All incredible piece of advice, and a few things that I want to unpack there. You know, I can already see it in the comments, people saying, well, Mike Jacob, I don't have KV Core. Well, you know, every CRM has these tools.
Yes.
And then there's going to be the other people saying, well, guys, I don't have a CRM. And my response is, that's probably why you're broke and you have no clients, right? So if you're using that as a crutch or an obstacle is why you can take action on what Jacob's talking about, number one, you need a CRM. And number two, you need to learn the one that you have, because there's no perfect one. The one that's perfect is the one you're actually going to use consistently. But, you know, one of the other things I really love that you talked about, and I just want to reinforce this so people properly kind of take it in, is meeting people where they're at. I think a lot of people, you know, misunderstand or don't even understand at all the concept of a marketing funnel of top of funnel being cold audience, middle of funnel warm, bottom of funnel being hot. You know, so many agents are creating bottom of funnel content for top of funnel audiences, expecting middle of funnel results. Like it makes no sense. And I love that you talked earlier about putting out content related to top dog parks, restaurants, beaches, things to do. Like, you know, as the market is shifting and interest rates are all over the map, you're going from the average buyer or seller looking to buy or sell like yesterday to waiting 6, 12, 18 months. And if you're only creating content for people looking to make a move today, you're going to be hard pressed to find those people because they're few and far between right now. Whereas if you're creating content to nurture with the goal of just building relationships in the next 12, 18, 24 months, you will be the one flooded with business. So it's important to look at that content of what is searchable by the general public, not just the 0.1% looking to move today, right? So, you know, as we start to pull this full circle, I would love to, because you said it perfectly, you said, you need to have a balanced presence with all mediums of lead capture, but you need to start with one. And then after you master that, start to build momentum and say, okay, I'm great at this. Now I'm going to add that. I'm great at YouTube. I'm going to add blogs. I'm great at blogs. Now I'm going to add, you know, a funnel or something like that. Based on you helping so many agents build momentum, closing upwards of 10 deals in their first 6 months, what do you find would be the best recommendation for somebody saying, I'm willing to get started today, Jacob? What would your advice be for that one platform to get started with today consistently?
So that's kind of a two parts. So if you have a budget, I would always start paid ads. Obviously, I'm going to, in the background, be doing social media content because you can't send them to a website that's empty or a social media profile that's empty. Saying all that, you've done your basic marketing and you want to get started today. If you need deals today, you need ways to start talking to people. Paid ads are probably the easiest and the cheapest way to get started. It's all about how you do your ad. Like you said in the beginning, the keywords. If you're trying to do homes for sale in Houston, you're going to struggle. But if you segment to a community, especially watch the new communities that are coming out and get ahead of even the builders putting out ads for that community. Have a wait list for that community. There's so much you can do. Just get creative. If you want some sample like ad copy, I have those. Just message me or whatever. I'll give you that. But I would start with paid ads because that's what I did when I started in real estate 2.5 years ago. Of course, it was a different market. Like it was so hard to compete. Like you had everybody and their brother was a real estate agent. And what I did that worked for me was I did a paid ad. And I even watched your training and went through the paid ads, and I had been doing this forever. I tailored to some of the things that you gave for real estate. And I thought to myself, okay, well, I don't have a listing. I don't have any clients. I really don't have anybody in my database. I have no sphere of influence here. Like I'm new to Houston. What do I do? And so I thought, okay, people are going to search now that open houses are back open. People are going to start searching for open houses and new to the market, because back then, if you didn't catch that lead, man, you missed that deal. You missed that house because by the time you tried to go see it, it was already under contract. So I focused on those two ads. And I swear I started out $5 a day for the first 2 weeks. And then I bumped it to 10. And in the first, I want to say 45 days, we had 60 actual leads that picked up the phone, and we were working with 12 of them. Now, Some of them closed, some of them didn't because they couldn't find a house or couldn't get pre-approved. But we were working with actual leads in the first 45 days. There's clients that or agents that have been there 6 months and they're still not talking to anybody. So paid ads, I did that with Facebook. I didn't do Google. You could do it with Google. If you want to take it up, heck, I would do a YouTube ad of you talking about that list, but because video converts better. But start with Facebook or YouTube because that's going to be your lowest cost. And honestly, I don't know if you would agree, but like I think YouTube ads now with everything that's going is probably a lower cost per click because they don't even charge you for a view unless they've watched, I want to say it's 30 seconds or they've interacted, like clicked on the video. So you're not even really paying for a lot of those 5-second views. So if you're comfortable on camera, go for a YouTube ad, do some type of ads, but have a solid lead capture method and a solid follow-up plan. Man, if you can afford it, I think we pay like $80 a week for our ISA, and they literally, I didn't even know, like I barely see the lead come in and they've already called it. They're already, and then they do all the follow-up. I don't even have my smart campaign on for those leads that come in through Make It Rain. They do everything and they're just like, take it over. I'm like, okay, so easy. And I go do the appointment. And I'll even tell you, like, you know how well this works? It's like, we did a listing appointment a week and a half ago and real cool guy, met him and his wife. And I come back and I just knew something he was talking about, his son playing football and he was so tall. I was like, this dude's got to be somebody. He lived in a nice house, and find out he was an NFL football player, first draft pick for the Giants in the 80s. And I messaged him. I said, hey, are you this person? And he said, yeah, I am. You're too young to know that. And I was like, sorry, I do my research, man. And so that came from a paid ad. Even those people are clicking on paid ads. So you don't know who you're going to get. So I'd start out there and then quickly in the meantime, start doing your organic stuff. You do your videos and do what Mike says, set a content day. Don't do video every day and social media every day. You should have one day you set it and forget it. And then the rest of the week is focusing on income producing activities.
I love it, man. Yeah, and as you alluded to, YouTube ads are crushing it right now, and I've got tutorials on my channel for this type of stuff. But if people are willing to get outside of their comfort zone to get on something like YouTube, right, you have a massive unfair competitive advantage, because anytime you're willing to do what is a fear for the average person and an obstacle, you now shrink the level of competition. So I love that you touched on that, because there's a multitude of different ways, but if you are willing to, develop the skill sets to create a clear, concise, and compelling message, the video ads on YouTube are unbelievable and widely untapped. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that want to learn more about what you're talking about and see tutorials and things in a little bit more depth. So do you want to talk for a quick second about your Friday Connect opportunity and what that presents to agents?
Yes. So Tharmil and I, we carried on with this kind of live webinar series. It's not pre-recorded, every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure it's Eastern. Everybody always thinks about their time zone, 11 a.m. Central. But we do this every Friday, and we do kind of you've been on it, Connor's been on it. We bring in top people. Tharmil and I both, combined, we have 27 years of marketing experience. And so we kind of take where we're seeing our own agent struggle, where we see people even in EXP workplace struggle. We're taking that information, creating content. A lot of people will even tell us what they want to hear about. And so we make sure we either talk about it ourselves or we bring in guests to really help everything from production, but really heavy in real estate marketing, talking about lead generation, lead nurturing, all of those aspects that you need. And we don't just do the high level stuff that everybody does. We're really trying to drill down. And honestly, to me, it's almost like a workshop where you come in and we're showing you exactly, like I share my screen a lot of the time and show you no presentation, just showing you how to set something up. And so if you want to participate in that, you don't have to be at EXP, you don't have to be in my organization or in part of the Wolf Pack. Anybody can come to that. That's something that we actually just want to give back and really help agents grow and succeed. And so if you want to tune into that, you can go to fridayconnect.net and register for free. And we have a lot of marketing resources and tools on there as well.
That's awesome. No, thank you for sharing that. To guys, I'm going to link that in the description below and the pinned comment. It's a wealth of knowledge, and I've been there, as Jacob alluded to, and they're always sharing very tactical strategies that you can implement today. You can see it and see how it's going to be applied to your business. So for ongoing free training, it doesn't get any better than that. And that's a perfect segue as how we can close this loop, Jacob, is I always like to ask people, why did you decide to align with not just EXP but our group, and more importantly, what can people expect when partnering with you, being able to get your direct support with Dharmila and myself in order to scale their business to the next level? Because a lot of people did not have the year that they were hoping for or expecting. And I always tell people, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you don't change your environment, if you don't change how you're getting trained and supported and coached, you're probably not going to be in a better position in 12 months from now. So what can people expect when aligning with you guys?
Yeah, the reason I love EXP and the reason why I decided to align our business with EXP was, one, I remember I was watching a video somebody sent me. It was agent just sent a random video of EXP, and I watched it. I was about 2 weeks from my test. And I remember waking my husband up and like, hey, found the brokerage. Don't even worry about it. We're going here. And I was trying to explain it. And honestly, I think it was the Brent Go video. And so we watched it, and the reason why I connected with EXP is I have ran my own business for over 10 years at that point, and my marketing company. And I knew that every real estate agent out there is self-employed. They can talk about they have a business. You don't have a business. You're self-employed. You are the business, right? Yes, you might be able to put an LLC with it or a PLLC, but that doesn't make it a business. A business is something that you can step away from and you're still making money. It's still going to go, whether that's vacation, a family emergency. I knew that I wanted to run a business. And for us, we wanted to be brokers. But in Texas, you have to hold your freaking license. I think it's like 5 years, and you have to do X number of business, and it's this point system. And then you got to go do all this course. And I looked at him and I said, man, 5 years, I'm too impatient for that. And then when I found EXP, you could build a brokerage day one inside of a brokerage. And so the agent attraction is kind of what drew me. I knew we were going to do real estate. I knew we would kill it. But the fact that I could use my marketing background to then help agents and build a passive stream of income that's willable if I pass away. A lot of people own brokerages and they're not willing those to anybody. They have to sell, whatever. As long as somebody in my family or whoever I leave it to has a real estate license or gets one within 18 months, they can have my business. They don't have to do anything. They can just cash the check that comes in. So it allowed me to build a real business. And that's something that I've been trying even before EXP, to really learn how to step away and stop building websites every day, hire people, and step back and start being that generalist. And EXP has really pushed me hard towards that, especially being in your group and partnering with Dharmila. Like, we tend to take a lot on ourselves. And this year has been our best year because we finally said, enough's enough. I'm tired of working 20-hour days. I'm going to start looking for people to do stuff. And so that's why I aligned with EXP, is because it allowed me to build a real business and to partner with people like Dharmila, like you. There's no freaking global boundary. Like, I can't go partner with a cousin of mine that's in California with real estate at her traditional brokerage, which is a huge brokerage that everybody wants to be a part of. But she's here at EXP. Not only can I partner with her, she could be in my organization. I could send her business and still make money. There's so many things that you can do inside EXP with this global brokerage in this kind of, industry disruptor. And then the other reason I chose EXP was mainly you and Dharmila. I found you first and watched all your videos. And the one thing was, I knew I had the marketing locked down. And one thing people need to think about when you're choosing a sponsor, if you're interested in EXP or looking at another brokerage, I don't care. I know it's not for everybody, but if you're looking at something like that, make sure that you find a group that has strengths where you're weak. If you just go to another group that does the same thing you're already doing, you're never going to learn anything. You're not going to grow. There's the thing, iron sharpeneth iron. So go to find a place. I knew I was strong in marketing, but I didn't have real estate marketing. So I knew Mike already had experience. He went through the lows of not knowing anything to, having crappy videos like I was going to have, to be able to push that out, because I hated being on video. Like I struggled with that for years. And so knowing that I could communicate the same way with you and Tharmila, especially after finding Tharmila on one of your videos and we connected over KV Core. Just knowing that I could communicate and still learn something in areas that I didn't know is why I partnered. And the biggest thing, which probably segue into the last thing of what they will get with me, is that I strategically chose you guys. And I strategically chose not going direct to you, but Tharmila, because you have such an amazing value stack. And Tharmila was starting to build hers. And now it's even more amazing that stuff I don't have to do, right? I don't need to go build Social Agent Academy. I don't need to go build all these mastermind calls right away. And so I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to come in and say, okay, Social Agent Academy is great. This CRM training is great, but what's missing? Just like you did with EXP, what's missing, right? And I want to come in and go, this is where I shine: SEO, websites, all of these things. And I can come in and complement all these things. Why we built Karuvi, like that daily strategy that people struggle with. I wanted to give them that, the website stuff, the SEO courses, all of those things. I wanted to help them where they're not getting that support at or getting enough support, and show what I'm good at. And now we have this amazing value stack. And I always joke with people, and maybe you'll agree with me or not, is that I feel like I have one of the best value stacks in the EXP because of you, because of Connor, because of Tharmila, because now I throw my stuff in there and it's literally complete. Like, even Wolfpack, you'll never find another better value stack in all of EXP, but now I can throw and combine all of that. So when you work with me, you're getting somebody that's going to be hands-on with you. We have everything kind of systemized, so you're not going to waste a lot of time and wonder where to get started. We have all that, especially with Mike's Wolfpack Hub and the stuff that we have with our team dashboard. Everything's in one place, but you get my 16 years of experience to guide you and not waste time and money on resources and things that I can truly guide you where you need to go. And whatever your goal is, that's what I'm going to push you to and hold you to when you work with me.
Yeah, that's such a perfect answer, man. And I can't thank you enough for being here today. And as you alluded to, it really is this beautiful trifecta of value when you look at, my forte is lead generation and organic content and branding. Tharmila's is CRM, nurturing database. Yours is converting and capturing. So when you look at all three of those components, it's basically the exact three things agents need to actually scale their business and close more deals. So again, guys, I'm going to make sure to link all of Jacob's incredible content below, including his Friday Connect that you want to make sure you plug into, and his calendar link if you want to talk to him about what it's like to get the three of our support to help you take your business to the next level. So Jacob, again, thank you so much, man, for coming on today.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
You bet. Well, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.